Welcome to Intuitive Eating Wisdom Wednesday. This is your weekly live stream. So, a training where I'll drop some intuitive eating wisdom for you right here in our Facebook group. And this is open only to members. So glad that you're here. And if in fact you are watching this on YouTube and you want to know what is going on with this training, then come just join us in our Facebook group. I'll drop the link there for you so you can come and join us. I am Bonnie Giller. I am the host of this community, Intuitive Eating for a Diet-Free Life. And what I do, all the women here in this group are working on cultivating a healthy relationship with food and their body. And so typically you're here, you have a history of dieting, restrict, binge cycle, emotional eating, and we're gonna fix that, really, because that doesn't bring you peace in your life. So just a bit about me. I am a registered dietitian nutritionist. I'm a certified intuitive eating counselor. I'm also certified in diabetes management. At the end of the day, what I do is I help women who are burned out dieters stop dieting and start trusting themselves with food. So eating is easy, it's enjoyable, and it's nourishing to both your body and your mind. So, welcome. If you're on replay, you know what to do. Hashtag replay. Please, if you're here with me live or on replay, give me some thumbs up, some hearts, because that does help the algorithm and let everybody know that I am here and I am live. You can always use the chat box, the comment box to post some thoughts. Let me see if I can go ahead and tag everyone and let you know that I am live right now. I always love when my lives have some people in the audience so that I could coach you. Anyways, today, what are we talking about? We're talking today about why not controlling your food is the only way for you to have peace with food. And this word control is quite interesting. We are going to dig into that. Being accustomed to having the diet mentality for so long, well, it does have its physical as well as its, most notably emotional consequences. If you are experiencing the diet mentality, you tend to feel inadequate when you fail to follow your plan, and I'll use air quotes in the word follow, your plan. It leaves you with a low self-esteem and feeling like, I can't control myself. There's the word control. I'm out of control. I lose control, etc. So to get a handle on these intense emotions around food, we think we need to control our eating habits even more. And so if you are attempting to control, you fail to control, you fail to follow, you get upset with yourself, then your mind is saying to you, you need to be in more control. If we feel like we have no control over the way we eat, then we try to control it even more. And how do we do that? Through restriction, and eventually we know that leads to deprivation. So that's what we're talking about today. As a reminder, if you're here, come say hello so I can answer your personal questions. Thumbs up, hearts, help everybody to know that I'm live and or can watch on replay. So what happens when you double down on that restriction and then you quote unquote mess up, again, diet mentality talk, or you don't stick to the unrealistic goals that you've set for yourself? What ends up happening is when you do this, you dig yourselves deeper into the hole of feeling inadequate, uncontrollable, and alone. And this is where the cycle of food control starts. So what I want to know is if this sounds familiar to you. Yes, in the comment box if it does. Now, maybe you have found yourself in the habit of saying to yourself, if I just stopped eating chocolate, I'd feel so much better about myself. Or maybe, if I lost a few pounds, then I won't have to worry about my food or how I look. These are lies told to you by the diet industry that you've been conditioned to believe, and they will unfortunately lead you down a very dangerous path. Now, I'm going to always be honest with you and very upfront, right? Sometimes we may feel like we're lacking that control, but that is not to be resolved through denial of what you truly want, from denying your body the nourishment that it needs and it deserves. So let me be clear. Controlling your food will not give you peace. So let me say that again. Controlling your food will not give you peace. Now, I am going to tap into some other ways that we might see control come up that you think is not dieting. So stay with me and I will share that with you in a little bit of time. So to put this in a different perspective, sometimes these feelings can go deeper than wanting to control your eating habit, your weight, or your appearance, right? Sometimes you might feel certain aspects of your life or your current circumstances are outside of your control. We then respond to that lack of control in these situations by trying to control our body, by trying to control our food intake. Make sense? Do you experience that? Does that resonate with you? Let us know in the comments. This is why learning to eat intuitively is so important. Understanding that food will not fix your feelings will help you transform your mindset from I need to control my body to I'm going to listen to my body, and it will allow you to really move out of that diet mentality. Which, by the way, many people think that because they've embarked on their intuitive eating journey, they no longer have a diet mentality. But I am going to tell you, and again, like I said, I'm always honest with you, diet mentality dies hard. Like it's takes time. So you're going to slowly chip away at that diet mentality. It doesn't all of a sudden overnight go away. Just remember that. Hey Joyce, oh, I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to touch on what I shared that I was going to touch on in just a few minutes, so stay with me. You really can be free with intuitive eating, and you can end the cycle of shame and guilt. Honoring your body's hunger and fullness cues, its needs, its wants, and prioritizing your health over all else is going to help you achieve the peace that you're looking for. So, when we rely on controlling our food, what do we end up with? Number one, putting our worthiness in the hands of food. So suppose we constantly tell ourselves that we need to control our food because that is the only way we can feel good about ourselves. In that case, we end up with the belief that our worthiness as a human, our right to belong, our right to be, depends on how we eat. And this is far from the truth. Learning to listen and honor your body's needs and cravings will replace that mentality. You are worthy of food just as you are. Number two, denying and neglecting your body's signals. Ignoring your body's hunger and fullness cues will lead to more physical and emotional distress. Putting certain foods on a moral pedestal and labeling them as quote unquote good or bad contributes to a cycle of food control, guilt, and, shame. Intuitive eating really goes, obviously it's against restricting what you eat. It's against thinking that you have to control your food or anything related to your eating. Because in the long run, feeling like you have control over food is never going to satisfy you. Instead, you will achieve true quote unquote control. And I'm going to reframe that as you will be in charge when you let your body take the reins. By listening to your body's hunger and fullness signals, you can develop a better relationship with food. Now, this approach promotes a sense of balance, a sense of freedom, allowing you to enjoy food, enjoy eating without guilt, without anxiety. Intuitive eating encourages trust in your body's natural cues, leading to a more sustainable and a satisfying way of nourishing yourself. And so if you feel that you have to control your food, please know that that is still dieting. Even if you don't believe you're actively dieting, that is still the diet mentality at play. Now, let's talk about, Joyce, I know you had answered on the post. Let's talk about it. Control, how do you control your food? What does it look like? And the response was by eating when I'm hungry and stopping when I'm full. And so that absolutely is another way of turning intuitive eating into the hunger fullness diet. Because honoring hunger and respecting fullness Well, we don't have to control that. If we feel that we have to control when we eat, when we start, when we stop, in that manner, that's yet another way that we are in fact dieting in an unconscious way. It can get a little bit deep. So I want you to just give some thought. As you are embarking on this journey, are you turning any of the principles of intuitive eating into the intuitive eating diet? This is one of the biggest things that I see happen when people jump to intuitive eating. I'm going to eat when I'm hungry and stop when I'm full, but they haven't yet dismantled their diet mentality. And when you're dieting for many, many years, there's a lot to unlearn. And that's why it is so important to progress in a step-by-step systematic fashion through this process. Intuitive eating is absolutely not just eat when hungry and stop when full. And we certainly don't need to control that aspect. So when I'm asking the question of control, do you control your food? What does that look like? Take a moment to reflect. In what aspects of anything related to food or my eating or my body am I controlling? And is that in fact dieting in disguise? So I would love to hear your thoughts. Please share below this video what is coming up for you. I think the other factor that you really want to be clear on is what ultimately are your goals? What do you want to achieve? Because keep in mind, intuitive eating is an eating framework. It's an eating philosophy built within a self-care framework. Intuitive eating allows you to connect back to the way you were born as your guide to eating. There's no right, there's no wrong, and the beautiful thing is there is no failure in intuitive eating. If you're embarking on the intuitive eating journey with the end goal of weight loss, then you've turned intuitive eating into a diet. Just keep that in mind. I'm not saying that people don't lose weight, but ultimately that is not the purpose of intuitive eating. You do want to heal your relationship with food, because take a look at all the diets you've done over all the years. The diets over all the years have not worked. And that is why we're here. So even if you've lost weight on the diets and you felt better in your body, ultimately you were not feeling good around food. You were still battling with food, and that was not a sustainable way for you to live and enjoy your life. That is why you're here. So go ahead and drop a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what follow-up questions you have. And if you want to chat with me at all about me helping you along this journey in a step-by-step systematic way, just hit me up in the messenger. You just have to click on my name and send me a private message. We can chat a little bit in the DMs, and then we can get on a quick phone call. I'm here to help. I'm here to support. If you have any questions, please note them below or just reach out to me. I do have 2 spots available within my intuitive eating coaching program. 2 lovely women are graduating this week. You will hear from one of them at least next week here in our group. But if you're interested to learn more without any pressure, then just reach out to me. Happy to have a conversation. Have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to reading your comments. Bye for now.